intrinsic feeling that somehow, you know, you have this opinion and it comes and goes. It'll just come into your mind or wash over you, and then you think, what was that?
All right. So,
you know, what was I thinking? Why was I thinking? Oh, you know, some generalization, because that's what it is, isn't it? A generalization or stereotype about a color, skin color, will come in there, and I think, where's that come from? Because I don't think.
Well, it's coming from our background, isn't it? I remember being raised in Poland, and we used to go shopping there's no shopping malls at that time. There were like big hangars, right? And what happens there, that you have a Chinese community making their business. And I still remember remarks made by my father, right? And I'm not going to repeat them, but they were quite racist, and you just grow to take it as for what it is. And then you have 9/11, right? And you also being infiltrated with what is it that your environment, not only family environment, but your closest circle start thinking about Muslims, right? It's a scary religion. It's not a religion, right? It's a boogeyman, right? So this is where I'm coming from, but also where my descendants, they were literally fighting. They were sacrificing their lives for the Polishness, right? So once we rebuilt this, the capital, once we rebuilt our country, we forever, since then forever, we holding on to the nationalism, and that sinks in. You cannot escape from thinking that you are better than this or the other because of your descendants, because of the history that is on your back. So me coming to Islam, that was a huge shock for my ego. That was the massive purification of my heart. And it's so great to speak about it with you here, because this is us getting rid of the white privilege, both of us on our terms, but it doesn't take away the fact that we've also been subjected to racism from brown people, from black people, from yellow people in the Muslim community. It doesn't take away from the fact that racism is in all of us.
That's true. It doesn't. And I think it's subtle, but it's certainly there. So I don't know if you remember any stories about your clients, or from your research, of what is it, like, if there are any categories, right? What is it that new white Muslims experiencing in this community? Like, if we could put it in categories, what is it that they can hear? What is it that they need to experience to fully incarnate into being white revert, right? Because it's not Shahada. It's not only Shahada. It's being around Muslims. We wish, you know. I think, I suppose my focus has been on sort of the non-Muslim one, and there's so much more to say on that, and you know, because I think that's probably what hurts me the most. But yeah, within the Muslim society, within the Muslim community itself, I know of friends. I certainly know of experiences. But I do find I've got a black friend who always, you know, they're perceived to be more non-accepted than a white convert. For some reason, the white superiority and the white privilege kind of can move through and come with you as baggage. And you can use that to your advantage if you want to, let's be honest, you know, and I think that's distasteful, but there it is. Into the Muslim community, and you put on a bit of a pedestal. So one of Leon Musavi's paper again talks about
how that you can be put at the top table as the white person around a group of Muslim household. Let's say you get invited for dinner, and the white person would put at the top table. Oh, white, they've become Muslim, amazing. Let's celebrate them. But the black
I think
Muslim
that's true
might
for
not
the British. I'm sorry, I think it's true
the
for
British
English white reverts, because that never has happened to me. But I also want to challenge this paper, because I know of a black Jamaican brother who converted into Islam, and he was taken through every door and through every mosque, because he ended up with tablighi. so I want to challenge that idea that it only happened to white, because I'm not white enough to actually live through this experience of being on the pedestal. It never happened to me.
Right, gosh. And that's because of European heritage.
Yes, I am too Eastern to be white.
No. Yeah, you see, I mean, this is it's not particularly nice, is it, really? This is the different spectrums of whiteness.
Yeah, and I think to my research and to my survey, what comes up very clear, especially for women, is that their mothers-in-law, they expect them to start clubbing again, start drinking again, start dating again. You know, we revert back to old ways, to spoil children, right? To spoil children, to make them too white, not cook well enough, not dress well enough. You know, there's this whole idea of wearing traditional clothes, especially in Asian community, shalwar and kameez, those kind of things. Don't speak our language, you know, she doesn't know how to communicate. So that's what comes across very well. Another theme is that when white weavers, they go to the mosque, at least at the mosque they want to feel at home, and that is not given as well, because they find that in the mosque there are small circles, or even mosques, they can be circles themselves, because you have the Pakistani mosques, the Afghani mosque, the Kurdi mosque, the Arab mosque, and the story goes on. And if you go to the mosque, you will find the circles as well, and they are not very inclusive, are they? So that is another theme. I wonder if you can think of any other theme that white reverts can have to be prepared for.
I think you've probably listed most of them that I was going to say, really. Yeah, I think all of this results in it being quite an isolating experience, really, for converts, reverts. You know, and it can be, and if you can't get out of that, I certainly know of converts who have they've not left Islam. I don't think anyone really truly leaves Islam. Islam's not, you know, putting your scarf on or all this kind, and Islam's a heart-to-heart experience. You know, let's be honest here. So they can't face being outwardly Muslim because of the experience of being in a mosque, or being told they're not good enough, or not Muslim enough, or you know, or outside in the community of non-Muslim, with non-Muslims, they're traitors to their race, their you know, their disappointment to their family.
Be Pakistanized, right?
yeah, and it's you know, it's quite shocking, really. And you know, it affects people in different ways, I think. I certainly know on sort of the mental health aspects of things. How is this affecting us as converts?
Yes,
reverts.
It does. It does. It's a huge thing, isn't it? Because
and I don't think we noticed at first. Well, I certainly didn't.
No, I didn't.
No,
I was shocked. I was brave in my shock for many months. And to be honest, it took me years before I started going out to my Muslim circles, to my friends, not people that I wouldn't trust or know what to expect from, and say, look, you have to stop using guri when you are with me. Stop calling us guri. This is clear racism. Oh, is it? I said, yeah, just think about it. Let's have a discussion, right? And from word to word, you actually making your point, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, no, I've been quite ignorant to that, so I've not heard that, but I've certainly heard people speak of it. And you know, I don't know. I don't think I get racism from the Muslim community to my face, but there are subtle hints of it. And you know what, sometimes I think, you know, I personally hold my hands up and say that I've let myself down. Now, I think sometimes, you know, we can fall easily back into these categories of what they think will become. Oh, they'll go back to this, they'll go back to that. And yeah, you know, it's not easy being a Muslim. That's a whole nother discussion. It's not easy being a convert and changing your ways and everything. And there's times where, yeah, we've had enough, and oh my gosh, the sister's taken a scarf off. Oh, astaghfirullah. And you think, well, we're just learning here. We're just trying to build ourselves and change and purify our heart. But then it's like, oh, you see, I knew she'd go back to clubbing and
yes,
being,
but the question, why she's taking the scarf off, because this is the first thing that comes of a female's dress code, isn't it? The scarf, because the pressure is too much, isn't it? Not only she's being disowned by her old circle, old race, she is no longer, she from the start, from the get-go, she is not going to be accepted by the new race, isn't it? So let's ask ourselves a question: what is that taking off the scarf representing? And I see it in my circles, and you see it in your circles as well, and in our clients, isn't it?
Absolutely, I totally experienced. I really think it's an object of racial identity. I think, because I know for myself that wearing my scarf in this fashion, I will be honest. I like honesty. Take me down to John Lewis in my local town, extremely white. I am very unlikely to be wearing my scarf like this. I'll be honest with you, because I don't want the racial prejudice. I don't want the looks, and I get the looks. I don't want to stand out. I don't want some 50-year-old white English woman, and they always do. I don't know what's what with this category of women, sneer at me and look down at me. I think, who the hell are you? And it really angers me. So I don't wear my scarf like this all the time. I wear it in a bandana, or I put a winter hat on, and I can get away with being back in my white place, and it's not nice, and I feel sick about it, and it's
and it makes me sad, and it makes me sad.
And I go to John Lewis, I don't even want to be in this stuck-up middle class zone. I want to go home, you know. But it's like, where do I go? And it's not a nice feeling. I shouldn't be subjected to this. And it's interesting, because when we got that text, or we got an email of backlash or advice, you know, from a sister of colour, you know, it was
let's read that comment. Shall I read it, or do you want to read it? That was really interesting, isn't it? Because
it was
do you want to read it, or shall I read it?
No, I've not got it in front of me.
All right, okay. I hope you appreciate the honesty coming from a Muslim woman of a dark skin, Black Muslim woman who faces racism, colorism, and Islamophobia from Muslim community, including racism from white reverts. I feel like I need to say something, and it will be disservice to both you and I if I don't. I know white reverts go through a lot of challenges, which I'm not no way minimalizing, but white reverts are actually put on the pedestal. Also, racism is not the right word for the poster, because white people cannot go through racism. Yes, people can have prejudice towards white reverts, but racism is prejudice plus institutional power. Hence, no one can be racist towards white people. And the story goes on. And then she goes into saying that the reverse racism that white people claim is actually a myth, and she sends an article about it. So I don't want to take too much time about it, but that is just before we came here, isn't it? And I've been shamed on Twitter. I had to block her and her colleague and her friend because they were shaming me, and I just don't have time for it. I mean, like, I'm dealing with enough as it is. But what is it that you wanted to say about this quite interesting phenomena? I'm Black, and only Black people can experience racism. Racism is monopolized.
Yeah, I mean, I just was ringing my Black Jamaican friend up straight away.
All right.
I was like, please tell me, you know, am I right? Am I wrong? What does this look like? What does this poster say to you? She goes, Georgina, how do you experience racism? I said, well, when I went down to that Black club once when I was younger, before my Islam days, the Black women weren't too keen on me being there. She went, yeah, but as a Muslim. I said, well, yeah, we got talking. She went, so why are you saying that's not? She goes, you know, it's she goes, well, how did you feel when that lady said those things? And I said, you know, straight away, I was like, apologetic. straight away, oh my gosh, yes, I don't experience racism. Of course, you own it. You take the title because you've gone through
and
it.
I didn't.
You know?
And I didn't. I was
you
like,
were like,
hell no.
Georgia.
Hell no, you got no idea.
I know, but I know I do like to blame myself before I blame anyone.
All right, then.
That's my process. But I think, you know, I gave it some thought, you know, and had a good think about it. But what stood out for me was that in another text, I think she said something about it's racism if you have to feel like you have to change yourself in some way to adjust to be accepted in that society.
So that's internalized racism.
I thought, do I have to? Yes, internalized racism. That was it.
Yeah.
And it's not possible for a white person to experience internalized racism. And I thought, yes, it is. Because I thought I do have to change myself.
That's it.
For many races.
That's it.
To fit in, I have to wear my scarf in this particular way, because if I wear it in a bandana way, someone will say, oh, sister, cover your neck. Well, I do anyway. I put a scarf around it, an additional one. Or, you know, I've even had white women converts say, oh, you know, your hair or whatever. But I have to, you know, if I go to John Lewis, I put a hat on. I'm adjusting, aren't I, to fit in? If you know, so there's all these different ways we have to adjust to fit in with a certain community. That's the same, is it not?
There you go.
It's not the same what a certain person has been through. Everyone's gone through their own individual experiences, but it's still a form of racism. Whether that is someone's internalized prejudice about a race and they're projecting it on you, it doesn't happen to be you, but they can't see who you are beyond your headscarf. Because let's face it, I think Muslim women, convert women, because they outwardly display their change of their identity as a Muslim because of the way we dress. You know, we are more targets for Islamophobia, you know, and that kind of thing, because we're like a poster for it. So, you know, we're probably more like to be on the receiving end of Islamic phobic, internalized racism, institutionalized racism, projected racism, you know, whatever we want to call it, re-racialization. I think, yeah, re-racialized. We are going to beat that. You know, and sometimes I know that I just don't want to be. And that's why I do that. Not because I'm weak of faith, not because I don't like the scarf, not because I'm disobeying Allah, not because I'm falling out of Islam and I'm not a proper Muslim. No, it's because sometimes I just want to go shopping and not have someone comment or look or throw something at me, which they've done, or shout across the car park of Tesco's, go back to your own effing country. I don't want to deal with that today, thank you very much, or with my kids. And I'm sure, and maybe I'm getting a taste of the own medicine of the colonialism era. Maybe I'm getting a taste of that horrible, nasty medicine that was, you know, dosed out to the people that have been oppressed and discriminated all their lives over their color of their skin. I'm getting a taste of that medicine. I'm okay with getting a taste of that medicine because it helps me to empathize, and I'm going to, you know, fight for it as much as I can. But it was really interesting how I was being shut down. I felt like I was being shut down by that sister, that I can't talk about this. Well, then I'll just be someone else who doesn't talk about it, and that makes me some kind of victim, and I'm not going to be that.
I like that.